Today we're on page 51 in our notebook, so make sure that you pause your video so that your notebook can be set up just like this, as well as putting that in your table of contents page. This is your warm-up, so all you need to do is label the following diagram. So this is your equation that we've been using, y is equal to mx plus b, and so you have to tell me what each one of those letters or variables means. And if you want, you can refer back to our notes from yesterday. Our learning goal today says create an equation using y is equal to mx plus b that matches each given scenario. And then your language goal, explain in writing why an equation matches the given scenario. Your first example, you have one of these papers on your desk. In example A, it gives you an equation up here. So y is equal to 15x plus 35, and my goal is to find which letter choice, A, B, C, or D, matches that equation. So I first have to read every single one of these. So letter A, Arturo reads 35 pages per night and started on page 15. So what I'm going to do is take my highlighter and I'm going to highlight the important information. So 35 pages per night. And then also he started on page 15. Anytime that I see the word per, it tells me that that is my rate of change. It tells me that it goes right there. So I know that 35 per night would go here. What I also already know is that y is that first box and that third box is an x. So now all I'm left with is that last 15, and so I know that that goes there. So again, anytime you see that word per, I know that that is my rate of change. It's going to go in that second box. So now we have letter B. Letter B says Sydney makes $15 per hour for babysitting and $35 per hour for tutoring. So I'm going to take that highlighter again, and I'm going to be highlighting the important information. I know that $15 per hour is going to be really important. And then also I have $35 per hour here, so that's going to be looking a little bit different. Since they're both talking about per hour, I know that I have to actually add those because those are both the rate of change. So I have to add 35 and 15 in order for me to get my total rate of change. So 5 plus 5 is 10, and then 3 plus 1 is 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So my rate of change is 50. What I also know is a y goes here and an x goes there. Since I've already used 15 and 35 and I put both of those together because they both said per hour, I know that I have no more information. So in this last box it's going to just be a 0, or you could leave it blank. Then I have letter C. It says a vet's office charges $35 for office visits plus $45 for any 3 vaccinations. So I'm going to take my highlighter again, and I know that it says $35. And then it says plus 45 for any 3 vaccinations. Okay, so I know first that I can fill in my y and my x, because that makes less boxes to fill in. What I also know is, just like yesterday, where it says $45 for 3, I need to find out how much for 1. So I can set up a box. And I'm talking about money, and I'm talking about shots or vaccinations. I'm going to put shots because it's a smaller word. Alright, so it's $45 for 3 vaccinations, but I want to know how much for just one of those. So I put that 1 in my shots because I want to know how much for 1 shot. So I cross multiply 45 times 1, and that gives me 45. Now I have to divide by 3. So 45 divided by 3. 3 goes into 4 one time. 4 minus 3 is 1. Bring down your 5. 3 goes into 15 5 times. So I know that x is equal to 15. That x is going to go right next to my x. So that 15 will go right there. And so I've already done the 45 and the 3 because I divided those. And so now all that's left is that 35. And so that 35 will go in my y-intercept. So now I have to look at letter D. Letter D says a plumber earns $35 per hour and worked 15 hours at Martha's house one weekend. So again, I'm going to take that highlighter and I'm going to highlight the important information. $35 per, and then 15 hours. And the word and is also important because the word and tells me that I'm adding. So $35 per hour. I know that I can fill in my y and my x, And I know because it has the word per, that tells me that that goes in my rate of change. So it goes here, 35. And because that word says and I know I'm adding, so I have an addition symbol here, so that 15 would go right after it. So now that I've written all of my equations, what I have to do next is I have to find out which one matches this one that's at the top, because that is my ultimate goal. So I'm looking at letter A. Y is equal to 35x plus 15. That definitely is not it. It is backwards, so I can cross off A. I look at letter B. Y is equal to 50x plus 0. Well, in my equation, I don't even have a 50, so I can cross that out. Letter C, it says the vet's office charges $35 for office visits plus $45 for any 3 vaccinations, and I determined that my equation was y is equal to 15x plus 35. Oh, it definitely looks like it, so let's put a question mark there. Looks just like my equation, but let me look at the last one. The last one, I put y is equal to 35x plus 15. So again, it's backwards, so I can cross that out. So letter C is my answer. So at the bottom where it says letter blank matches the given equation because, letter C matches the given equation because it has the same rate of change and y-intercept. So make sure that you write this down, because it has the same rate of change and y-intercept. So we're going to flip our paper over to example B. Example B is the same thing. So I have an equation right here. Y is equal to 20x plus 45. But I have to determine which one of these letter choices or answer choices match that equation. So my first one says, Amelia jogs 45 minutes each day. Yesterday she jogged an additional 20 minutes. So I'm going to take my highlighter and I'm going to highlight the important information. So she jogs 45 minutes each day, and then yesterday she jogged an additional 20 minutes. And I know that that word additional tells me that I should be adding. So on top of the word additional, I'm going to write an addition symbol. So it says she jogs 45 minutes each day. So anytime I see the word per or each, that tells me that that is my rate of change. That is my rate of change. So 45 would go in my rate of change box. And I can fill in my y and my x. And that additional tells me I'm adding. So I have that addition symbol here, and I'm adding 20. So then we can go to the next one. The fee for renting a canoe is $20. The rental company charges $90 for 2 hours. So I'm going to highlight the important information. So a fee, $20. I know that fees always go in my y-intercept. Then it says charge $90 for 2 hours. So first I'm going to fill in my y and my x. And then next what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in this fee, because I know that the fee is always, always, always my y-intercept. Anytime I have a fee, it goes here. So 20 goes my y-intercept. So the only thing I have left is to find that rate of change. The thing about the rate of change is it tells me $90 for 2 hours, but I need to know how much for 1 hour. So I draw a box. I'm talking about money and I'm talking about hours. They charge $90 for 2 hours, and I want to know how much they charge for 1 hour. So I cross multiply 90 and 1, which is 90, and then I divide by 2. So 90 divided by 2, let's figure out what that is. 2 goes into 9 4 times. 9 minus 8 is 1. Bring down my 0. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So my x is equal to 45. And I know that x is going to go right next to my variable in my equation, so this 45 would go here. So y is equal to 45x plus 20. Then I go to letter C, and I need my highlighter again. So my letter C says Luis got $45 for his birthday. He spent some money on basketball tickets that cost $20 each. So I'm going to highlight the important information. He got $45, but he spent some money on some tickets, and those cost $20 each. That word spent tells me that I'm subtracting because I'm giving somebody else my money. So I write my subtraction symbol right on top. And so first I want to fill in my y and my x. Now I only have 2 boxes to fill in. So he has $45 and then he spent $20 each. So the word each, remember per or each, tells me that that's my rate of change. So I know my 20 is going to go here. The only thing that I'm forgetting here is this word spent, and that word spent told me that I'm subtracting that $20. I'm subtracting the money that he's spending on those basketball tickets. So I need a negative sign here. And then the only thing left, because we've already used our 20 and we've already done that negative, is my $45. So my $45 is my y-intercept. Letter D, a health club charges $20 per month for membership fees plus a $45 enrollment fee. So I'm going to take my highlighter. I'm going to be highlighting important information. $20 per. Remember that per tells me that's my rate of change. Plus a $45 fee. Plus a $45 fee. I know that fees are always my y-intercept. So the very first thing I want to do is I want to fill in my y and my x. That is always the first thing you should do. And then because this is $20 per, remember the word per or each tells me that that is my rate of change. So $20 would go here. And then plus, so I have an addition symbol here, plus my $45 fee. So y is equal to 20x plus 45. So now that I've filled out all of my equations, I now have to decide which one matches the equation that's at the top. So I have this equation right here. And I need to determine which letter choice matches that equation. So letter A says y is equal to 45x plus 20. That's not it, because my equation is y is equal to 20x plus 45, so that's not it. Letter B, y is equal to 45x plus 20. Same equation, doesn't match. Letter C, y is equal to negative 20x plus 45. It's really close. The 20 and the 45 are in the right box, but this is a negative. And in my original equation, I don't have a negative. So letter C cannot be it. Letter D is our only one that's left, but let's double check. Y is equal to 20x plus 45. Yes, that is perfect. It matches our equation up here. So we can circle letter D. So at the bottom where it says letter blank matches the given equation because, so I'm going to put letter D matches the given equation because it has the same rate of change. It has the same rate of change and y-intercept. So make sure that you glue these notes into your notebook. They're going to go on page 51, and you're going to have to fold that in half and then make a tab so that you can see both sides. Then you're going to do your practice problems, which is on the other paper that's on your desk, and you're going to raise your hand if you have any questions.